Friends, 401 days of war. A brief update from the war zones. Starting from north, limited battles and artillery duels continue in Swatovo-Crimea direction. Here, Russian forces have been able to capture small establishment named Kuzemivka. Nothing from south. However, Zaporizhia was one of the oblasts where the Russian aerospace forces carried out interdiction using missiles and drones. The other oblasts/regions were Kiev, Kramatorsk, Chernihiv, Kharkiv. In east, starting from the southern tip, Ugledar, fight is on in the outskirts of the city and Russian forces have made some incremental gain after a long time. In Marinka, heavy battle is continuing inside the city as well as northwest and southwest of it, wherein the Russians are trying to encircle the city but not have succeeded. Towards Druzhba Avenue, there have been some incremental gains by the Russians. On Avdiivka front, difficult battle continuing in almost all the parts. The Russian forces have been able to capture Vesele. In the meantime, since morning today, the Ukrainian artillery is very actively shelling sectors of Russian forces' offensive formation in both Avdiivka and Marinka. Here Russians were able to capture Kamyanka. However, Stopo, the Ukrainian reinforcements ensured that the Russian did not move forward and no progress towards Severne, but incremental gains towards Novo-Bakhmutovka. Bakhmut, outside, that is north, northwest and southwest, Orikhovo-Vasylivika, Bogdanov, Kromov, Krasnoye. Heavy battle is continuing, but due reserves of Ukrainian forces, there have been no substantial gains for the Russians. Inside Bakhmut, all attention seems to be concentrated by the Russian and PMC Wagner offensive for the Bakhmut center city, and the fight is on for each and every building here. The situation of Ukrainian troops here is very precarious. That's the general scenario. In the meantime, Russian aerospace forces have time to launch Soyuz 2 rocket carrier day before. The Russians have arrested an American journalist for espionage words for which the Western media is making lots of hue and cry. Do they know there is some other journalist whose name is Julian Assange? Russia is planning another 147,000 new conscription to be enrolled in Russian military. Australian Parliament witnessed an unusual scene where deputies of Party of Freedom left meeting in protest against Zelensky's speech, singing a place of neutrality, a place for peace. Massive protests were seen in Kenya, continuing in France, Israel, and many other parts of the world. Few words on US dollar, which is ruling the world market since decade. Most of international transactions are carried out in US dollar. Do you remember that during the coronavirus pandemic, US printed trillions of dollars, causing high inflation, rather outsourced inflation from its own terrain to the rest of the world. Now the graveyard for the US dollar is being dug world over, and probably not only Russia and China but BRICS with new entrants like Saudis, Iran, parties in Latin America and African countries would hasten the process. Finally, Trump, who is expected to surrender next week, will he be barred from fighting election? Thank you, friends. See you tomorrow.